The Brownlow medal, footy's night of nights. Let's look at Collingwood's history in the most prestigious medal in Australian sport. So in this video, I'm going to take you on a journey through all of our 9 Brownlow medalists, the year they won it, what was going on in the year. Is there something weird about the counting system as well back in the 30s and before the 30s? Absolutely nuts. Let's have a look at it. But before we do, remember, you can become a member of this channel. Just hit join for lower than the cost of a regular almond latte, which is my go-to with a little bit of caramel syrup. Usually costs me $7.50. You can get a membership to join the Swoop Army. Swoop Army, that sounds so stupid. Become a Swooper Trooper or part of the flock down below. And if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. Now, let's get into our Brownlow medalists. It is going to be an absolutely incredible count for Brownlow on Monday night. So if you're watching this, join me. We're going to be streaming that together. I'm going to be in a nice little suit and tie for you guys. And it's just going to be incredible because Patrick Cripps can win it. Our boy Nick Dacos can win it. Lachie Neale, probably he's going to get some votes because that seems what he can always do with these umpires. Marcus Bontempelli, we could have a tie for the first time since 2003. It is going to be a nail biter. It is going to go down right to definitely one of the last games, one of the last votes. I don't reckon we're going to get a clear winner until that last round. But we've had 9 Brownlow medalists in the past. We'll start with our very first one, work our way up to our most recent one. Let's hit it. So our very first Brownlow medalist was Sid Coventry. So he was the 3rd ever Brownlow medalist. Sid was the captain. He started, or he was the captain of the premiership machine, where we went on to 27, 28, 29, and 1930. And in those 4 premiership years, we had 3 Brownlow medalists, which is just absolutely nuts. Now, Sid Coventry won it at 28 years old. He won it with 7 votes. Now, back then, so from 1930 and before the 1930s, the voting system was 1 vote per game, right? So there was 18 games in a season. So Sid Coventry had 7 votes for the 18-game season, and he went on to win the medal. So that was the first premiership year of the machine. Now, 1928, we had nothing, so Collingwood player didn't win it in the premiership year, where we went on to go back-to-back. And then in 1929, a then 20-year-old Albert Collier went on to win the Brownlow medal. Now, that was with 6 votes, so less than Sid Coventry's 7, but again, it's that 1 vote per game. And Albert was 20 when he won this, which is just, when you think about it, Nick is 21. He could have won it as a 20-year-old. That's just absolutely crazy, a 20-year-old winning it. We do have to remember that Dick Reynolds, who won 3 Brownlow medals for Essendon, he is the youngest ever Brownlow medalist at 19, which is just, that's Nick's first season. If you're going to compare it, that's Nick's first season coming in as a 19-year-old, or Harley Reid winning it in his first year. That's amazing. Dick Reynolds is absolutely incredible. But again, that was when we went back to back to back, and we had a Brownlow medalist in another premiership year. Now, in 1930, which was the record, and it's still the record, 4th premiership in a row for our machine team, Harry Collier, brother of Albert Collier, won the medal. Now, he won it with, get this, 4 votes, and it was a 3-way tie. So you can see just how dominant Collingwood was in those 20s eras, and even just thinking about the 20s, which was literally 100 years ago. No, that's not right. No, it is right. Oh my God. In a few years, we'll be celebrating the 1927 premiership because it'll be 100 years since then. Oh my God, that's absolutely nuts. But Harry Collier won it in 1930 with 4 votes. So I mentioned how from 1930 and before that, it was 1 vote per game. But now, after there was a 3-way tie in the 1930 vote count, it went up to the 3-2-1 system that we know and love today. And you got to remember that there was only 1 umpire umpiring these games, right? So you know how we've got like 4 field umpires and they all confer, blah, 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 blah. It was only 1 umpire doing the 3-2-1 votes. Now, from 1930, our next Brownlow medalist would come in 1939, and that was Marcus Whelan with 23 votes. Marcus Whelan and Collingwood would go on to play in a premiership that year, and unlike Harry Albert and Sid Coventry, the Pies wouldn't win the premiership. Melbourne were just too good in the 1939 grand final, so Whelan won it in a losing grand final, which, you know, kind of like Swan in 2011 and Buckley in 2003. We would go back to back again with Brownlow medalists, with Des Fothergill winning it on 32 votes, tied with Herbie Matthews from South Melbourne. Now, Des Fothergill, he was, again, one of the youngest players, 20 years old, but, again, get this, debuted at 16 years old. In the next year, when he was 17, he'd win a Copeland Trophy. When he was 18, he would win a Copeland Trophy. And then in his 20th year on this earth, he'd win a Brownlow medal. Played when he was 16. 4 years later, he's winning a Brownlow medal. His name goes down as one of the greats of the Collingwood Football Club. Our sixth Brownlow medalist would end the biggest Brownlow medal drought that we've had in our history, which was 32 years. That was won by ruckman extraordinaire Len Thompson on 25 votes. Now, in this count, so this was the third ever televised count, and what would happen around this time is, I was going to say Gill. Well, Gill was doing it, and Andrew Dillon, whoever's doing it now, they're going, okay, Bulldogs Sydney, 1 vote, 2 votes, 3 votes. Fremantle Giants, but. But what they would do back then is they would get all the votes before and have them all ready, and they would do it up for TV. So they would know beforehand who had won the game, who had won the Brownlow. So it would all be made for TV. So if this year with Len Thompson in 1972, he was tied on 22 votes. And it came down to literally the last vote of the season, and it was Len Thompson, 3 votes. But that was all orchestrated by the AFL and the AFL, or the VFL at the time, administration, made for TV because they knew it would cause tension and it would be really tight at the end. So it wasn't like we have it now. It was all made for TV. Not saying that the Brownlow medal was rigged or anything like that, but it was made for TV, and it was made to cause that suspension in your heart for the TV audiences.
G. Wells has drawn level. Wells has drawn level with Thompson. They're both on 22. Ladies and gentlemen, there is 1 vote to come. This is the final vote. Collingwood. L. Thompson. Thompson's won it. He's won it. On the last vote, 25 votes.
So we talked about Marcus Whelan, Swan, and Buckley being in winning Brownlows in losing grand final years. I did forget to mention Peter Moore. So he is our 7th Brownlow medalist. In 1979, he won it on 22 votes. He obviously got again with Melbourne. So dual Brownlow medalist with 2 different clubs. And that was obviously the 79 grand final against Carlton, where we lose by whatever it was, 5 or so points. That was the infamous Peter Moore when he got the runner-up medal and he just threw it out off the stage, because back then your premiership runner-ups would get runner-up medals. I think that was the last time they ever did that again. But Peter Moore would win it in another runner-up season, and that would start a trend of our next 2 Brownlow medalists losing a grand final and winning the Brownlow medal.
Peter Moore, the winner of the 1979 Brownlow medal.
Tonight is the greatest thrill I've ever had in my football life and my life, anyway. But the name of the game in football is to win premierships. Although this is wonderful and I'm really honoured to receive it, I think that I'll just be forgetting about it and get out on Saturday and try and get best on the ground on Saturday.
Second last Brownlow medalist is Nathan Buckley in 2003. He shared it obviously famously with Adam Goodes, Mark Rasciuto. They all finished on 22 votes. Again, a Brownlow medalist in a grand final losing year. But that year was absolutely incredible. And to see a 3-way tie, which is the last one. So that was that was 21 years ago. That we haven't had a tie since. I think this year is the year that we get another tie.
M. Rasciuto, 1 vote. Collingwood, N. Buckley, 1 vote. Sydney, A. Goodes, 2 votes. There is a 3-way tie for the Brownlow medal. A. Goodes, M. Rasciuto, and N. Buckley.
And then the last ever Brownlow medalist for the Pies was back in 2011, Dane Swan. Finished with 34 votes, which was the most ever vote counts at the time. Now, we...
Is Pendlebury. 3 votes.
Chris Judd is going to win the Brownlow medal. Andrew, please.
We know that Dane Swan probably should have won in 2010. Chris Judd won it in 2010, but we go on to win the premiership. So Swanee's got a premiership medal in 2010 as opposed to a Brownlow medal. But in 2011, that was rectified, and he goes on and wins the Brownlow medal.
The winner of the 2011 Brownlow medal, Dane Swan from the Collingwood Football Club.
Now, it kind of got me thinking where I think if history tends to repeat itself, right? Nick Dacos should have won the Brownlow medal last year and he didn't. Do the umpires make up for last year with this year and award Nick Dacos the Brownlow medal? Is that a little bit of their thinking? It just I don't know. It's just very reminiscent of the Dane Swan Brownlow medal and then the premiership, and I don't know. History could repeat itself. But those are our 9 Brownlow medalists. Let me know your thoughts down below. Do you think Nick's going to win it? Do you remember the Dane Swan Brownlow medal? I remember the Nathan Buckley one. That's obviously the last one I remember because I was born in 92. If you are older here, do you remember the Peter Moore or the Len Thompson? Let me know your thoughts down below. But until then, like, comment, subscribe, tell your family, tell your friends, tell your pets, and until next time, double shackers. I'll swoop you later.